Definitely be.
It's like the No Man's Sky of driving games.
That's a good quote.
Can I ask you a really boring question? If you wanted to drive from Miami to Los Angeles or from New York, or how long could it take if you're in a medium range car?
It's a very good question. But what we showed during the E3 briefing was our trailer, and it's a time-lapse trailer.
So yeah, it was very cool.
Do you know why? Little secret, we came to E3 so unprepared.
Really?
We're closing the game, so we have to finish things.
Yes, of course.
And we don't have time to mess around with a specific trailer or a specific demo, so we had to bring what we have that's the best, and that's the game. So we got a guy, and a team of guys actually, there were 4 guys, to do one afternoon of just rushing through the States from Miami, New York, Rockies, San Francisco, whatever. And in an afternoon, they captured that, and we cut it together. And that is about 2.5 hours, that trip. We accelerated it because I wanted to do a 2.5-hour trailer, but Ubisoft wasn't having it for their presentation.
It's expensive time up
it's
there.
It's an expensive minute. So
that's excellent. I know those look like fast cars as well.
Those are okay cars. If you're just doing Los Angeles, New York, in the fastest car in the game, it's about 45 minutes, an hour, sticking to the roads. But of course, off-road vehicle, it's going to be a much longer trip.
So let's talk about, obviously, one of the really interesting things is different types of racing, different types of terrain and whatnot. Specifically, the different types of races and activities. Can you tell us, like, is it lots of lap races? Is it lots of distance racing, or what's in there?
We've got all kinds in there. I mean, we've got over 1,000 different activities to engage you with on this massive road trip. I mean, one of the things that we're showing off as well is giving people a chance to see some of the skills which we've got in the world, which Julian mentioned in the press conference on Monday. But and this is stuff which is that emergent fun. It's like, wouldn't it be cool if I just climbed this mountainside or weaved through these trees? And we're trying to make fun out of that and make them instantly replayable as well. So it's 30 to 45 seconds blast, and you go yes, bam, and you do it, and you set a ghost time, and then you share that and compete with each other. And it's cool because we all kind of need that asynchronous multiplayer these days. Well, I know for one I do. It's like, time becomes valuable, and your friends have children, and game night becomes one night a week instead of every night.
One night a month.
So it's like, you're feeling it.
Do you have kids?
I don't know.
All right. I've got kids, so I can only play at 6 in the morning. So I get up at 6 in the morning. So asynchronous and ghosts are super important to me. And we see the game as different challenges for the different amount of time that you can invest in it. So can you remember Project Gotham Racing, or even before that, MSR, and the Kudos system? So we've got that for that micro loop of gameplay, just for combos that you're chaining together to earn a little bit of cash. The skills that Andy was talking about, we pepper those around the world. They're over 500, very varied, from hill climb to slalom challenges to precision challenges where you have a gate that gets smaller and smaller, to follow challenges, racing apex line challenges, lots of different things like that. Plus you've got missions, and the missions are basically races. And we have a story in the game. It's not Shakespeare, as I like to say. I'm not going to tell you it's going to shock you. It's going to change the world of gaming. No, it's a light, frothy story.
Is it a means to getting the player to experience all these different challenges?
Exactly. It's a means.
It's a narrative glue. It's a narrative glue which binds
glue.
the game
You've
together
read the marketing copy.
on a road trip around the USA.
It basically takes you on a road trip. So it gives you a structure. Some games, some open world games, they're lacking that structure, and you kind of get bored and directionless after a little time.
Sometimes when there's so much to choose from, like I had it with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, for instance, when there's so much to choose from, you don't have a little bit of direction, you don't know where you should go.
So it's finding that right balance. And those missions, there are 70, 80 in the game, and they vary. So it could be lap races, it could be street races that are point to point, it could be rally races, it could be getaways from cops, it could be takedowns. There's a lot of variety, and we're crossing that with the different terrains. So your takedown could be a takedown in the city streets of Miami, but it could also be a takedown across the beaches of the Great Lakes. So we're trying to mix things up. Everybody knows the limits of a traditional driving game.
Yeah, true.
So we're really trying to push that with the different types of vehicles and customizations that we've got there too.
Cool. So let's talk about that a bit. So obviously we've talked about the different types of races. It seems like you guys have indeed tried to create a lot of variety anyway, because one of the problems with driving games is that they're largely a known quantity. Another thing that a lot of people were asking on Twitter earlier today when I said you guys were going to be on
specs.
was how much, that whole driving crew fans getting in here, but less specific than that, it was just generally car customization and ownership, because that's a big thing about TDU, is like it's almost like you're polishing your car, making sure that it's set up the way you want. How deep do you go in on that? And also with a game where you're spanning an entire country, where do you keep your cars?
It's a really good question. There are 3 questions there for me. I don't want to get too intellectual, but it's this French side of me. I'm like, philosophically. Yeah. Now, philosophically, we're approaching this game with real ownership in mind. So when I play the game, I take one car and I stick with it for 20 hours and improve it and increase its capacities, because we are an RPG at the end of the day. So there are 11 performance parts, and I'm upgrading each part to make sure that I blow all of my friends and crew members off the road. The customization is really along 2 lines. First one is we've got different car classes, much like an MMORPG as well. You start off with a street.
With your paladin and you get your priest.
not quite as well defined as that.
Yeah.
These are more along the lines of what's the driving sensation that you're going to get. So just 3 of our 5 classes. Street, which is street racing, very good handling, pretty good speed, built for asphalt. Then you've got dirt,